it's really hard to say where things are going to go. So it's unknown. But Fritzy's here if you need her. She's at a camera view though. She's right there. The other one's around here somewhere. Um, so we're kind of like on a, take this wherever you want. But we're on Afghanistan timeline, you can say. So obviously expect we'll have other events accumulating before I can feel. So that is. I'm not sure what's happening here. Look at the camera. Okay, don't. Mobius. Yeah. Go that way. Yeah. Jeez. Around. She was just sitting here quietly. Now she's not sitting here quietly. What? What are you trying to do here? With Afghanistan. Here, go over there. Yeah, just chill. Right with you. Oh well, there went that. She knocked in this light. All right, sit. Technical. She's not done yet. She's not done yet. Here, wait. That'll make things better. Distractions. Clear out that. So we're out, yeah, a turn of events. I did feel it's September, but nothing's being really clear. Where I think obviously we're going slowly into that timeline. So I would say expect the unexpected right now. Do elemental channeling also, but I wasn't going to put September surprise. But I feel like there's going to be, it's whatever it is that they're working on. It's building up. So it's really hard to say. I mean, you gotta be careful. I mean, sometimes better we don't know because we have to experience it. Of course, we have a hurricane that's hitting New Hampshire or something like that. So around upstate New York. Lovely. About time we're at least we're, seem like we're the only ones that get attacked here. But seriously, this whole Afghanistan, it's hard to say where it's going to go. It might calm down. It might turn into nothing. But it feels like at least behind the scenes, at least for right now, they're doing a lot of something behind the scenes to, open up some other kind of event. But anyway, look at it; it's a mess there. And they're just going to you're going to use these situations for something. So you can't let it go to waste. So we just see where it turns into. So but we are kind of even if you're not connected to the news or anything like that, which is fine, but it's still happening. Um, Either way, they're already obviously on a higher level. They knew all that was going to happen. Now, it goes down to the generals that are in charge of it. Not all of them, but certain ones. They just know what they're doing. So, I mean, they've been there long enough to know the psychology of the Afghan troops and all that. They're not stupid. So, it's just like September is some kind of because I felt like the middle of August things are going to change, and they did. So I didn't know what it was, and now we know what it is. And now September is kind of like the next phase, whatever it might be. So Yeah, I don't want to go like through a list of events. This is, I just don't want to do that. But either way, it's at least for the vibration I feel early September, at least now. Now that might change. I know things are supposed to be super positive and everything at this point because of December 21st. I wonder how that's going in some other dimension. But we still have to go through a lot of our lessons here, so we're not out of the woods yet. So I'll try to see what I can tap into. Yeah, it's going to be vague for obvious reasons, for safety reasons, for all kinds of reasons. Because I was talking about comic prep sessions. Yeah, shop here. I'm on. I forget the 5th, August 5th or the 4th. We did a webinar tonight, so I didn't get to do much here. Same situation here. Webinar next week. Social network. Yeah, behind the scenes and things. So I figured elemental beings. Yeah, there's some kind of like hidden shifts that are going on right now. And I know people want to connect to the higher realms and everything, and that's fine. But there's like the real reality is here, and it's I would say expect a lot of changes. They're using this opportunity to move things around, just like what they're doing in the health situation. So this is just another timeline coming into another. So we have the health timeline. Now we have this Afghan timeline. It's just they're moving things around. So take it or leave it. You have to be vague for, like I say, safety reasons. I think Fritz is on the computer. She's somewhere. All right. Well, I'll tap into that timeline, see where we can get, and also tap into September and see what we get from that. And I'll go into elemental beings, basically the cards and energies, and see what. I'm not going to go too deep into that. So if I do a channeling through all three of these, and then come out of it and see what else I can pick up on a conscious level. So to recap a little bit. I've been blocked ever since 2020. I've been shut out. 2020, or 19, yeah, 2019. I got kind of some like in the middle of 2020. I could feel some of the riot stuff that was happening. But this Afghan thing, yeah, they're just building up for some. Not to put worry out there or fear or anything. Just be aware that they're setting something up. And that hurricane that's in that area, in New Hampshire area or wherever it is, that is a little. It shows that we're doing something different. So in September, it feels like early September or whatever it might be. It was like the timeline is formulated. It's not complete yet, but there's obviously it's possible timelines. What it feels like. Yeah, they're moving something in. So yeah, next week. Not this coming week, but next week. So next week, of course, that's on a Wednesday. Yeah, sometime next week. It feels like they're. Yeah, I guess we'll find out sooner or later. Which makes sense because this is still picking up over there in Afghanistan. So, all right, we'll see what we get. Like I said, this might be like super vague, but we'll just have to see what happens. Okay, blessings. Greetings. We are the Afghanistan timeline. Or is it, yes, a possible timeline of a lot of changes in your political realm, which also makes changes in your current society slowly, of course. They're not here to move things too quickly, but it shows that what has failed, those that were a part of this Afghan situation that failed will be fired, most likely, and new regimes are brought in. So is it going to affect you that much? Not necessarily. Well, in the future, yes. Now, is this becoming more positive? Is still up in the air at this time. There's still a lot of darkness going on the earth. So it's up for humanity to decide where it goes. You're still in the driver's seat, even if you're not driving. Someone else took over the wheel, but you're still, riding this wave. Yes, they want to. There are beings that want to break apart. Yes, unions, relationships, of course, because when you connect to the right person, you put out a new vibration where you see things more clearly because you're uniting each other's vibration together and you're clearing out all the nonsense around. Of course, there's going to be blockages there. So, unions, like relationship unions, are yes coming together at this very time. It's needed right now because the world is going into kind of like upside, it's turning upside down, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So it's still up to humanity to decide where things go, but a lot of darkness is being released from the earth. Doesn't now you realize you're seeing it in front of you instead of just spiritually hearing about it. The idea is to actually experience it if you want it or not. Because removing all these darkness, the reptilians, whatever it might be, it's really necessary to actually have it happen in front of you. So, and you actually see the results. So that's what this is. A lot of this is about. So you can connect deposit timelines all day long, but you don't really see the results. So it depends on humanity's vibration where you want to go. So yes, of course, there's corruption. Well, those you open up the doors for the teachers to come in. And of course, the teachers that are controlling your world took advantage of the students, took advantage of everyone, even themselves, where it just became a psychotic meltdown, a mental breakdown. And you're here to transform all that, mutate it into more of a positive timeline, all levels. But you have to see the darkness for it to heal it, though. Remember, so you're seeing what's going on in the Middle East, Lebanon, also, and the United States is going to show their own darkness too on a government level. They've already shown it, but there's more. And don't you want? Yeah, it's not easy to see, but necessary to see for it to be. It's like because when you see it, it's like, oh, we don't want that anymore. But when it's hidden, you don't know it's there, so it continues on. But when you see the darkness, that's when it gets removed. It's kind of like not the best scenario, but it's kind of like a serial killer going around. You don't see this person, but then when you find this person, yeah, you see it, and you see the psychology, the psychology that goes into it, how they're justifying what they're doing. That's what's happening here. Greetings, we are the future. Ah, yes, your September consciousness, your future timeline, your Akashic connection. Soul growth, of course. Soul growth, where, well, it's like for humans, this, well, I don't need to fix that anymore because many, they're going back to the mechanic and getting the same thing fixed over and over again. While somebody running into the same situations over and over again, it is now time to not go back to that mechanic. It's time to just like, I think I'm repaired after all. Such like arguments in the family, just just an implosion of the family actually, where that will eventually be repaired. Of course, it seems there's no problem there, except when you cringe going to Christmas or something like that. It's like, oh, is that why am I feeling so uncomfortable connecting to my family? Do you wonder why? But you're going into basically for truths to finally be seen, but not all. So your September is a wake up call. Now, what does that mean is up to you. You already had wake up calls throughout your last year. Some did not make any sense, actually. Well, you see more corruption. Corruption lives really well here. Well, they built the system, so they get rewarded. They get rewarded by causing mayhem here. As you can see. As that begins to shift, you feel more clear. So this September vibrations, yes, have an open mind. Also, like how much do you want to know about your reality? Do you really want to unravel it? Now, yes, there's alien beings, and but that's working through you. You're bringing the alien. Well, the more truth you see about this world, the more alien energies you get to see around the physical, because you're calling that vibration here. So like, the more that you're unraveling you, which is not easy, of course, but if you see something happening in your reality that's very difficult to handle, it's like, wow, I must be at a level where I can actually, you're having trouble handling it, but you can handle it. I must be at a level where I can actually see this. So it's like kind of like being in a relationship, and it's an abusive relationship, and you finally realize, like, wow, this person's terrible. It's kind of like that, but this is on a world level. On a world level, people aren't realizing how abusive the world is. They might see it, but they still take it. They're not saying no very often, as you can see. Some of you are, but the numbers are very low on that, as you can tell. If that was the case, if the numbers are higher, this whole world would be a different place at this time. You have pina colada somewhere. Yes, it would be like you'd be all at the beach. But instead, you still have chaos because some are not ready to see what's truly happening here. So you're getting some of that awakening a little bit for all the world to see from what we're picking up on. But you'll adjust to it and see more of yourself, which is necessary. Some of this might be vague, of course, because we can't take Christmas. You can't open up your presents right in front of you, even if you don't feel like it's Christmas at all. I don't believe people are going to feel it is Christmas, but it is very similar. So unexpected. Well, you know the date is coming, depending on who you are. Things can shift, but at this time, I feel like timelines are building. Brings you. We are the elf beings from Agartha. Yeah, your world likes to rewrite history. Do not realize it's itself. It doesn't. It wants to forget human. Well, technically, you're forgetting your past. Technically, not always a bad thing. But your current corruption of your planet, of course, is not easily seen. Well, some don't want to believe it's that bad, so they look away. Yes, go ignore it. That will make it better. Doesn't mean you have to fully see what's going on here, but it would move things faster. And of course, you go unjudgmental. It's like if you want all the manipulators, all those manipulations, all to step forward, you will have a different world tomorrow because you're willing to see it. Now, some of you are willing to see it. Some are just not ready for various reasons. Yes, to your own levels of your growth. But expect you're going into that timeline of more realizations coming through. Doesn't mean you're going to see dragons in your skies just yet, as nice as that would be, but still the human process still has to figure a lot of things out by itself. Now, you can still have a physical reality. There's still a lot of details here that many are not seeing, of course. You're not supposed to. But meaning that your reality, there's always someone outside of your reality creating your reality. And some of those beings have visited some of you as children to shut you down because you're seeing beyond the veil of your existence. It's like, man, I see angels, I see alien beings, I see everything, and then you have a creature show up and scare the hell out of you. So that's one way of shutting one person down. But some do are here to see through it throughout their whole lives, which is not easy. But I expect many more to see through this third dimension reality as it becomes more clear of where you come from. Doesn't mean it's going to be delivered instantly. You still have a long ways to go for that. Solving people's problems the problems are basically coming to you're working on a society where it's like we don't have to have these problems anymore. And many of you are doing that right now. And it's it's you might be done with it, but others are another story. And that might be a fiance or somebody like that or somebody close. It's like they're making life harder than it has to be. Um, but you're going into a time where slowly easier for some of you. Some just went as hard as they can. They put themselves backwards many, many times. Many of you know those type of individuals. Um, so as you become more of your awakening state, you'll see how many people, like you walk anywhere, there's people around you feel like a lot of them they're coming towards you, but it's also they're going backwards, at least in their own evolution, because there's things they can't sort out. Uh, Difficulties, and that's another thing. They're not always getting another person to speak their truth. Truth awakening is upon you, sort of. It's not going to show itself just yet. Well, there's a lot of factors within it. A lot of souls think they can handle a lot. In truth, they can't. Now, some of you, it is true you can. You can bring an alien being, you can have an alien lunch. That's fine. But once again, that's a small percent. But as you go into this new Earth environment, then yes, the darkness must show itself, like the dark wizards and things of that kind. They can't hide themselves forever. I mean, many of you are actually preparing to see beings like that. And you'll see it in your own form, whatever it might be a relative, it could be many things. It could be your own child, which is terrifying, which has happened. So it's like it's terrorizing me in this lifetime. It's like nothing's ever easy. It's like, oh, it's your kid. Terrorized you before it was born, and terrorize you now in your incarnation. It does happen. So it's just basically decoding the reality that you're living in, seeing it from another point of view. A very difficult one. But many of you are looking forward to that, which is good because that will speed up the process. So what's happening now? There are beings here trying to create artificial timelines to control society. So the fear timelines of all kind of implosion of realities. Well, not exactly the implosion of your reality, but just to bring about just like the end of existence for some people. Some of you might feel some of that. There's a little bit of that. Just why would you do that? Well, because they can. Some beings are brought here. That's all they're good at. It's just the dark side of themselves. It would be surprised how many elite beings come here, cause trouble on your planet, get all their darkness out of their system, and become a better person. But then they go somewhere else. They take all that goodness and go somewhere else, and they leave this place all havoc and broken down. So, yes, many of you on the astral plane is going to get more heavier than it ever has before. But we're actually bringing a being in from that realm as long as necessary. Good day. Brings you. We are the astral consciousness. So maybe, yes, you're not remembering your astral, your dream realms. They're not necessary to be remembered. Well, because it's too much. It will truly take you out of this realm. It actually can make you sick if depending on what you remember. So some of you are adapting to astral vibrations so you can remember, but you do bring some of that chaos into this reality. It's like if you want to remember your dreams and your astral, you're going to have some chaos in your reality. It's the bargaining chip there. Why you feel distorted by want to know. So knowledge kind of has a price. Maybe not the full price, but it has a version of it. Now, some of you can connect to the astral plane and remember and feel leveled, but you're at most likely you're away from a ley line and you're at a place where you can balance your vibration. So there's just a lot of friction you're releasing. So yes, you're coming closer to knowledge that is hidden on your earth. Some of you just tap into it. It's not supposed to make itself completely clear what it is. It's basically, more basically, some of you get an intuitive download or your intuition is tap into more of how your world operates. Why the beings are here doing what they're doing. Of course, they're using all types of forces to keep you shut down. Well, they want to spin you around, keep you confused. It's like dancing you around, dancing humanity around to keep you unhinged. And if you do stop, but are you truly seeing anything? Some aren't. Some get more confused. The whole point, yes, confusion, chaos, and because if you're getting closer to what's happening here, expect more confusion. At least for some individuals. Some of you can handle it. But if you do download that information about the earth, who's going to believe you? That's the other thing. And you feel like in your heart and your soul that you're connected to the right connection of what's happening here, but still many are still having difficulties believing it. Your soul is not there yet. So, and that's not your problem, but the idea is for you to the idea is to avoid a lot of the earth's problems. Well, you don't have to go through these problems. You've already been through a lot of these tests already. You need to keep going through them over and over and over again. It's like going to the same job. In our con reality, do the same thing over and over again. Like living a life as a record player. So you're here to derail a lot of those vibrations. It takes time though. The idea is to be a part of the system, but also to take down the system by being a part of it. So you're like a cylinder that's like shifting your vibrations no longer. It's like you can still do the same thing over and over again, but you're doing a different vibration. And your vibration is shifting the energies of the earth. Certain storms has a lot to do with the astral plane. Usually weather anomalies it shows the astral is getting more volatile. The astral is downloading into your reality where you can see it more clearly. Where you can see more of the fourth dimension that you've been connected to for such a long time. Your future, your September. Many of you have already seen those timelines. And some of them are true, some of them are not. But some of you are part of what's to come next. So that's why you have a feeling of something on its way. But yes, this is not going to calm down anytime soon. Nothing to worry, but the calmingness is far from it. There's a storm coming. Yes, a storm unusual the way you're used to. But yes, soul growth. But yes, just expect an anomaly.